but I think it will be announced soon on the screen. Paulo, I will invite Paulo. Talking about youth, this is a great transition. I'll quickly introduce Paulo. Although it's not planned, Paulo has been leading, integrating youth representation throughout Prime. So, he is really one of the leading people getting more students at this conference and throughout the organization. So please make a round of applause to Paulo.
Split the audio. So, good afternoon. I know it's a difficult time for what we're going to do, but let's keep the energy and let's keep the enthusiasm. My name is Jorge Rodriguez. I am a professor in ESPAE Graduate School of Business in Ecuador. And I'm here also as a representative of the Prime Task Force on Climate Change. So today, we will present you some of the ideas that we have carried around in the last 6 months, and let's engage in the dialogue and receive feedback from you.
Thanks, Jorge. Good afternoon, Prime community. It's an honor to speak to you all in our global forum today. My name is Paulo Speroni. Thanks, Maxime, for the introduction. I am the Manager of Strategy, Governance, and Innovation at the wonderful Prime Secretariat team. Let me quickly tell you the story behind the Prime Sustainable Travel and Events Guidance. So, we are all strong advocates for a more sustainable planet. At the same time, we are a community, not only made by institutions, but also made by people. As any human community, we needed to meet. And we host events to do so, right? As a global community, sometimes we needed to travel to meet. So when we decided to bring back the Global Forum to New York this year to enable us to connect for impact, it was clear that we must adapt ourselves for better. Walk the talk. So therefore, in addition to take immediate action to make the event hybrid or vegetarian, vegan menu options, or rethinking materials of our good bags and cups and so on, we set up a fantastic task force. Jorge is one of the members, with worldwide Prime community members to kick off a continuous exercise to help guide our community in the direction of more sustainable travels and events. So today we will present the very first step in this direction. More than accomplished work, we want to invite you all to join this conversation, to help us build the way forward. So it's my big pleasure to welcome the two co-chairs of our task force, and also co-chairs of the highly impactful working group on climate change and environment, Alex Hope and Petra Molthan-Hill, who will join us now on video, because it is hybrid and sustainable, to detail the Prime Sustainable Travel Events Guidance. Please let's see the recording.
Thanks, Paulo, and hello to everyone at the Global Forum in New York. Really, really disappointed and sorry not to be with you there in person to catch up with so many friends and colleagues from around the world. But I did want to be able to be here virtually to introduce you to some work that we've been doing in the Climate and Environment Working Group, looking at our sustainable travel and events guidance. We understood that now, as Prime, with a global community of over 800 signatories, we really need to be looking at ourselves and take action ourselves as Prime chapters, as champions, as working groups, as Global Forum, to consider our climate impact in the travel and events of everything that we do. In doing so, we also need to consider equity and inclusion issues and acknowledge that sometimes we do need to meet face-to-face, sometimes we don't. We can work things in different ways, and there's a whole palette of options that we can consider when we are interacting as a global Prime community that we are. So in order to address this, we set up a task force made up of colleagues from all across the world in different kinds of, from students, from academics, from Latin America, from North America, Africa and the Middle East, and from Europe, of course, with myself and Petra, to get us to a starting point, to think about some fundamental questions, some fundamental issues that we need to think about when we're considering sustainable travel and events. And we've developed a first summary for you. Developed some 5 fundamentals that we believe we can work with the community to put more flesh on, if you like, to work up a little bit more. The first fundamental that we talk about is virtual first. So endeavoring to organize our meetings in a virtual setting wherever feasible, wherever possible, particularly if attendees will need to engage in lengthy international air travel, and striving to make those events as engaging, dynamic, and interactive as possible, using all of our experience from the last 3 or 4 years, so we can have meaningful virtual conferences alongside our face-to-face meetings. Because we understand that we do still need to meet face-to-face sometimes. That can be a lot of benefit in doing so. So thinking about geographic flexibility, rotating locations for international in-person conferences, going all around the world to different areas, so we can try to give everyone the opportunity to engage in a local forum of their own, if you like. And that aids inclusion, adds diversity, reduces carbon, and promotes equitable participation. When we do travel, of course, we need to consider our travel methods. We should be considering international air travel as our final option, and to promoting the use of public transportation where we can for face-to-face meetings. We need to emphasize the importance of in-person attendance, particularly at more localized gatherings, where we can come together using public transport, using train travel, using other methods other than flying, and save those kind of events for different times. We need to consider our event sustainability where we do hold these events as well. Not just getting there isn't the only carbon impact, also the impact of running the events themselves. So instituting guidelines to ensure conferences or meetings are as sustainable as possible. Consider things like default veg, where we only have meat as an option rather than meat as a main, if you like, for all face-to-face meetings. Considering our travel carbon footprint, offering drinks in reusable bottles, measuring what we do there, and looking at the contents of any goodie bags, making sure they are local and sustainable. And of course, we understand that we need to be continuously enhancing and continuously improving in everything that we do. So striving for improvement to excellence in all of our endeavors, learning from our successes and our failures, and utilize these insights to inform future actions, to foster a culture that values our feedback, encourages learning, and adapts to change. And in the spirit of that, I'll hand you over to Petra, who's going to talk a little bit more about how the community can get involved in helping us shape these fundamentals going forward.
Yes, hello everybody, and it's nice to, I don't see you, but it's nice to be here. I would be love to be there in person as well, but I hope I will see you in a moment in the consultation. So what we have provided here is for you that we have an email now, climate@UN Prime, for example, where you can send anything, any ideas you have, any best practice you might have, you want to share with us. This would be fantastic, which you would send this to us. We have also a web page, so please do check it out. Obviously, we have the web page for our working group, and we would love to put any good ideas from you also in webinars and so on. So please do reach out and become a member of our working group if you have not done so. And then, as I already mentioned, we have the consultation in a moment. So I hope you will join us and you will give us feedback on our 5 fundamentals, but also we hope that you will start to share best practice. So for example, if you have done a really fantastic virtual conference and you made it really exciting for all the participants, and there's a really good tool or platform you want to share with us or other ideas, it would be lovely. We hope that it will become a really big library of lots and lots of brilliant ideas so that we can all move forwards together, and that you do the first step by joining us in a moment and giving us feedback and ideas as well. And then in case you want to go into more detail into everything, so because obviously these 5 fundamentals are quite short, you can read a bit more on the website about it, but if you want to look up about transport and food and really understand this in more detail, please do check out this handbook of carbon management. There's a chapter on each of these topics, and obviously anything related to event management as well. But it also is useful if you want to look into any other topics you might be concerned or have thought about pension funds at your university, at your business school. So do check out the other topics in this handbook of carbon management as well. And if you're interested specifically what the university or the business school can do, we think that this guide here from UNSDSN is a fantastic toolkit. So you please do check it out if you want to go deeper into all these topics. And then we would really like to invite you to our next climate literacy training. It's starting on the 22nd of June, so we purposefully put it behind the global forums that you can join us. And this will go into much more detail, not only into transport and food and event management, but it will also look into other high impact climate solutions. It will give you a bit of a background on climate change science and how they are linked to the climate solutions. And we will talk about climate justice as well. So it will be lots of different topics, also how you might want to integrate into your own teaching, or how you might want to integrate into your research, or into the strategy of your business goal. So please do register and join us for the next training starting on the 22nd of June. And I hope to see you there.
So thank you, Petra. I know that you are there in the UK and on hopping. Alex too. Before we leave this stage, I would like to ask here, who has ever developed, implemented, thought about strategy practice in your schools for more sustainable travels and events? Please raise your hands. Fantastic, we need you. It's gonna be hard to compete with the cocktail, but we will be hosting very first consultation, open consultation session. There will be more in the course of the year. So we're gonna, for those in person, we will be meeting just after we brought up everything here on the main stage at the 3rd floor, 304. And for those online, we will be meeting on Hopping. You just click on left-hand side and click on session and join on Zoom. So thank you very much.